program appropriations. Who initiates? DBM ba? Agency ba? DOF ba? But eventually, the only person authorized to release is the President.
And several names that have provided handwritten notes to Yusek Cabral on the projects, which might also be related to the documents in the supposed 6 boxes that were made available in the DPWH. And former Secretary Bonoan is also mentioned in many of these handwritten notes from Yusek Cabral, and because we have the privilege of having him here, it would be great to learn how that was done. And lastly, because of the Senate President's question a while ago on how many of these projects ended up actually having SAROS.
Secretary Nyusha, I'm sure you also have a copy or you have knowledge of these files.
And this document that has been shown to me looks familiar to me, Your Honor. This is this is a consolidation of the allocables, the computed allocable per district. And there are other information here, including what has been the total allocation as for the total allocation from the General Appropriations Act.
Mr. Chairman, may I, that is a list, total allocation. My question is, was it released? That list, yan, hawak ninyo yan, sinabi na galing daw sa file, listahan yan. District yan, per district. Listahan lang yan. Ano ba yan? Sinabit lang sa GAA, nasa GAA or nasa NEP, and then na-release ba?
That I would
Nagawa
not know.
ba?
That I would not know.
That is, I think, what the more important question to ask, not just a list.
Yeah, I am saying, Your Honor, that looks familiar to me, but as far as these items were released, I would not have any information about it, Your Honor.
Mr. Chairman.
Senator Bam.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, has the committee established how the list was acquired? Hindi pa. Nakapagkwento na ba si Congressman Leviste? May we know, Congressman Leviste, how you acquired the list?
On September 4, with Yusek Cabral, after she had a phone call on speakerphone with Secretary Vince Dizon, and I also had my phone on speakerphone, and I believe that my mother also spoke with Secretary Vince Dizon that night. And Secretary Vince Dizon said that these are public documents and that all of them can be shared not only with me, but with the public.
And were these given to you as a printout, or was this a file that was emailed to you?
The printout that I have sent there with a timestamp September 9, 6:03 p.m. was a hard copy. And I also got a soft copy of that printout.
From?
From the office of Yusek Cabral, with Yusek Cabral present.
Okay, so yung email na pinanggalingan nung listahan is from a government employee or from an official email of the DPWH?
Soft copy was given to me.
Sorry, USB ba or it was
Yes.
emailed to you?
USB.
Okay, so may binigay sa yung hard copy at may binigay sa yung USB with all of these files.
Yes. My USB was the one that got the files.
Okay, so binigay mo yung USB mo kay Undersecretary Cabral at kinopya niya from her computer.
It was my USB from their computer in the presence of Yusek Cabral.
Yes, but you have to, we just want to establish how the information arrived to the committee, no? So could you share with us how it arrived here? So binigyan ka ng hard copy, and how did you get the soft copy?
In the presence of Yusek Cabral, I asked if I could get a soft copy of it, and my USB, after a few minutes, because it wasn't readily with me, was brought by my staff, and it was also seen on CCTV that we were coming in and out of the office. And that time, Yusek Cabral was with us. And that was after a phone conversation with Secretary Vince Dizon.
Okay, so yung USB mismo, nilagay mo sa computer ni Yusek Cabral, and you transferred the file to your USB?
In the
Correct.
office of Yusek Cabral,
In her computer?
in the planning services office computer.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin yan, there should be a copy in DPWH as well because may pinanggalingan yung files na yon. Correct, Congressman Levis, no?
Yes, and after your line of questioning, Mr. Senator, I also have here the names of the encoders that are also noted on each line of the file.
So, DPWH can verify. I don't think you can verify that right now by just looking at the hard copy. The best way to verify is to go back to your computer, check it there, and makikita kung totoo nga ba ito. Correct, no? Yusek, no?
Mr. Chair, can we share our version of what transpired last September 4? Now, what was reported to us that happened September 4 was that when Congressman Leviste came to DPWH and he was asking for the district allocation per district budget allocation. And this was the one authorized by Secretary Dizon. And that's the second batch of documents given to us, shown to us, and which we are validating. Afterwards, what was reported was that the Congressman Leviste went to the computer and got files from Secretary Cabral's computer. We are not certain what files were acquired. Right after that, we secured the computer. It was sealed off, taken off to ensure that it remains intact and hindi na po siya matamper. And last December, the Ombudsman issued a subpoena, including that CPU, which we immediately turned over to the Ombudsman on the same day, including all printouts of the letter request in his office. And as of this moment, that CPU, which remained untouched as of September 4, is with the Ombudsman.
So only the Ombudsman can actually verify. Is that what you're saying, Yusek Bernabe?
That is correct, Mr.
Only the Ombudsman can verify because the computer is with them.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Correct, no? Thank you,
Congressman
Mr.
Leviste
Chair.
would like to respond.
May I also kindly add that I believe there are two other groups that also have soft copies of this same file. One is the office of Senator Lacson, who I understand obtained it from the lawyer of the family of Yusek Cabral. And the second is Billionario News Channel, who must have obtained it from some other source within DPWH separate from me. And I have seen another soft copy of the file, which has a slightly different file name than my file, and it is, as I have seen, exactly the same. So the public can be assured that it's not solely reliant on my copy of the file because there are multiple groups that also have a copy of the file.
Mr. Chair.
What was just to clarify, the files that were given to me by the lawyer of the late undersecretary, ito yung SARO, dated December 27, 2024. 50 billion plus, 30 billion of which flood control projects. And when we cross-check with the records, may mga ghost flood control projects doon. Pero I just found out na incomplete yung, kasi may doon sa SARO na yon, ang total doon nasa mga 100 plus billion, hindi lang 50 billion. Coming from, I think, 155 billion, yung whole universe. So hindi kumpleto yung aking files. Yun lang binigay sa akin personally or through an intermediary nung lawyer ni late Undersecretary. And it appears na mayroong magkakapareho doon sa files ni Congressman Leviste at saka sa aking files. I didn't anymore attempt to ask, and i-follow up ko na rin kay Secretary Toledo. I-walk through nyo nga kami, paano kayo makakuha ng pera o ng pondo from the unprogrammed appropriation? Of course, nangyari lang ito mostly in 2024 kasi medyo naabuso yung unprogrammed appropriations in the GAA of 2024, di ba? Ang laki, sobrang laki. So, December 27, patapos na yung taon, nag-issue pa ng SARO, I suppose, kasi pag sinabi nating special purpose fund, nandoon yung unprogrammed appropriations. And in 2024, I recall, inamend ng Congress yung special provisions. Dinagdagan nila. Because ang alam ko sa special provisions ng unprogrammed appropriations, napakahipit. Hindi ka makakakuha ng pera doon. Unless merong excess collection sa non-tax, not even Not even revenue collection, non-tax revenue collection, may excess. Second, kung merong approved loan, di ba? And third, kung, what's the third, Secretary? May, no, yun na nga yung may excess, yung certification. Approved loan, may excess non-tax revenue collection,
New revenue measure, Mr.
and new accompanying revenue measure. That's the third. In 2025, tinake out na yon. Binalik na sa non-tax revenue, etc., etc. Now, can you walk us through paano ba nakakahugot sa unprogrammed appropriations? Who initiates? DBM ba? Agency ba? DOF ba? But eventually, the only person authorized to release is the President or the Office of the President, correct?
The DBM, Mr. Chair.
DBM, ang parang alam ko nasa gaan yan, only the President can order or authorize the realignment. Kukuha sa program, i-realign to augment items do sa regular budget. Now that you're saying it's DBM, then I submit, no, kung
Yeah.
DBM.
Mr. Chair.
Bigyan nyo lang kami ng
Okay.
rundown, paano ba yung ruta niyan?
Okay, Mr. Chair. Thank you. So basically, the agency requests for the unprogrammed appropriations first are received, of course, by the DBM Central Office, which is mayroon po yung tinatawag na DMS, yung Documentary Monitoring System po namin, which then it will be routed for those who handles those specific requests. For example, DPWH, i-reroute namin po doon sa may hawak na po ng DPWH, we call the Bureau. And then, of course, initial review and compliance, of course, nire-review po ng ahensya or the bureau that handles it. Following what has been mentioned, kung na-achieve po yung ating trigger to unlock the unprogrammed appropriations, which is yung excess revenue or there is a new revenue measures plus yung ating mga, there's a perfected loan when it is particular for the foreign assisted projects. Okay. So after that po, the requesting bureau will now, of course, transfer that or request for our what we call the debit vouchers, which is kasi may administrator po ng unprogrammed appropriations para may control po tayo as far as releases for the unprogrammed appropriations, just like other lump sum funds, like for some pension gratuity fund and miscellaneous benefit fund, may lump sum po na nagpo-monitor or the administrator. So once debit voucher has been approved, yan po, release na po namin yan, okay, transmitted to the, of course, meron po yan, sinusundan po. It will pass through the Office of the Assistant Secretary of the Budget Preparation and Execution Group, together with the Undersecretary of the Budget Preparation and Execution Group. And then, once that's approved or endorsed to the Secretary, that will be signed by the Secretary, and that now becomes the special allotment release order signed and approved by the Secretary, Mr. Chair.
Wait, anong role ng DOF? Sila magsasabi na merong excess revenue eh.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that,
Oh,
Mr.
na-omit nyo, yes.
I forgot to mention that, Mr. Chair. First, the excess revenue should be certified by the Bureau of DOF through the Bureau of the Treasury na may excess revenue po tayo. When we say excess revenue, that is comparison between the program versus the actual collection during that period. So yun po yung kailangan po natin may excess revenue muna bago natin ma-unlock
Excuse
yung
me, Secretary,
unprogrammed operations.
non-tax revenue. Not necessarily revenue collection, non-tax revenue.
Well,
Pag-usapan dito.
from the certification that was certified, it came from the non-tax revenue,
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
So ganun po yun.
So yun na yung ruta nun.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Hindi ito nag-i-start sa DOF, sasabihin ng Treasury, oh, meron tayong excess dito, DBM, kumuha na kayo ng listahan sa mga agencies. Hindi ganon.
Uh,
Parang ganon ang alam ko eh.
yung ano po,
Kasi hindi muna kayo makaka-act kung hindi nyo alam na merong excess revenue, excess
yes,
collection.
yes,
diba?
Mr. Chair. Because the agency cannot request without that excess
Correct.
revenue.
So talagang nanggagaling muna sa Department of Finance.
Yes, Mr.
Or
Chair.
BTR.
That there is an excess revenue.
Okay. Sino?
Mr.
Yes.
Chair.
Yeah. May I direct my question to our Prosecutor General? So there were files going around, but the source is now with the Ombudsman. That's correct, no? We can verify that.
That is correct, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so may mga files si Leanne, si Congressman Leanne, may files ang committee, but the real source is in that
Sorry,
computer.
Senator Bam, correct ko lang, hindi files ng committee. Hindi ko pa binibigay ito sa committee.
Sorry.
Kasi nga, hindi
siya
pa-
verified.
Hindi authenticated.
Okay.
Kaya I'm just keeping it in my possession.
Okay. So there are files that are around, but the source nasa DPWH, nasa computer ni Undersecretary Cabral at na-turn over na yon sa Ombudsman.
That is correct, Mr.
That is
Chair.
correct. Now, PG, I know you're not with the Ombudsman, but let me just ask, since you're the Prosecutor General, kung may ganoong data, anong usually ginagawa ng isang agency like the DOJ or the Ombudsman with that data? What do you do with it?
Well, ang ginagawa ho namin pagka ganyan, pagka computer, we request for forensics examination to extract and to look at the data which is in the computer, which I believe is what the Office of the Ombudsman will also be doing, sir.
So you will check the veracity of that
Yes.
data, no?
Yes.
Based on testimony, based on real-world occurrences, we will find out ano ba yung na-release, are these projects ghost projects or not? Eventually, meron bang mga kumita dito o hindi, no? So the data is basically a lead for the DOJ and the Ombudsman.
That is correct, sir. The data that will be extracted based on the forensics examination will at the start be just leads that can be followed by the investigating police agencies or the National Bureau of Investigation that will aid them in their investigation. As it is, it's not yet a determination of the veracity or the truthfulness of the contents of this information. It's first trying to find out, okay, these are leads, tingnan natin saan tayo dadalhin itong mga leads na to kung ito'y susundan natin.
And it is these files are much talked about. Do we have the commitment that they will be further investigated at matitingnan talaga siya kung ano ba talaga yung authenticity at veracity at kung meron ba talagang malfeasance na makikita sa mga files na ito? Is that a commitment, PG?
Well, while I am not with the Office of the Ombudsman, Mr. Chair, nonetheless, we are in constant communication with the Office of the Ombudsman. And we have already somehow discussed the matter of the files. But since it's with the Office of the Ombudsman, it's really their call. I know for a fact that they will start also some forensics examination of the computer, and then that would start and kick off possible investigations to ascertain, one, the authenticity of the documents that were secured, and then second, to also ascertain the veracity of the contents.
Yung hinahanap na paki-authenticate, tell us whether these are real or not, or the veracity. Currently, it's still in process.
Yes po. Yes po.
Okay. Thank you. Salamat po.
Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I have
Yes, Senator Erwin.
a couple of questions for Yusek Bernabe and Congressman Leviste. Yusek Bernabe, there were reports that I read na may mga nagsasabi na these files were forcibly taken. Have you investigated kung totoo ito? Because may mga lumalabas na balita ako nakita sa social media claiming that they're the employees of Yusek Cabral, that they were forcibly taken. Have you investigated this? Kasi kung may mga ganitong kwento ho, dapat iniimbestigahan ho ninyo.
Mr. Chair, that was the report. That was the report that the soft copies of the files in the computer were forcibly taken. However, upon the request of former Undersecretary Cabral and her staff, na wag na pong palakihin yung issue, that is why we just maintained reports and the footages, but wala na pong ginawang further action on it, Mr. Chair.
Have you reported this matter to the Secretary Vince Dizon, na there is such an incident? And why did Secretary Yusek Cabral decided not to pursue anymore or about this matter?
The Secretary is well aware, Mr. Chair. In fact, he is the one who acceded to the request of former Yusek Cabral and her staff na wag na pong palakihin yung issue. As to why that is why the former Yusek would want that, we cannot answer anymore po. Siguro po ayaw na po niyang maging issue, Mr. Chair.
All right, let me direct my question to Congressman Levisa. Kong, is this true? I mean, what they're saying na Yusek Cabral said na parang forcibly taken ninyo, kinuha lang ninyo, hinablot lang ninyo itong soft copy na ito sa office ni Yusek Cabral. Is there truth to this?
Mr. Chair, I believe the lawyer of the family of Yusek Cabral said that Yusek Cabral never said that it was forcibly taken, even when this was discussed at the Ombudsman in early December. And it is based on others' testimonies that that is so. But apart from the lack of any mention of it by Yusek Cabral, there is also the CCTV that was also showed by the DPWH.
Because there are two employees at the office of Yusek Cabral stating that I believe I saw in some news reports claiming that you went to their office and forcibly took the files. So you're denying that, Congressman Levisa?
Because the authorization, I'm saying, sir, came from Secretary Vince.
Okay,
And Yusek Cabral was also present when I was obtaining the files.
thank you. That's all, Mr. Chair.
Anyone else?
May I also
Senator Marcoleta, would you like?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yusek Bernabe, yung authentication, kasi alam mo, sabi na naman ni PG Padulyon, forensic na naman. Bakit pa tayo magpo-forensic? Alam mo, merong rules on electronic evidence. Under Rule 4, as PG Padulyon, yung best evidence rule, sinasabi rito, Section 1, original of an electronic document. An electronic document shall be regarded as an equivalent of an original document under the best evidence rule if it is a printout or output readable by sight or other means, shown to reflect the data accurately. Ganun lang kasimple, compare mo lang eh. This is the rules promulgated by the Supreme Court on July 17, 2001 under AM number 01-07-01 SC. Ganun lang kasimple yun eh. Pero yung sagot mo kanina, parang hindi na, huwag nang palakihin yung ano. It's unfair na, the inference is negative. Na parang bang si Congressman poor sibling. Huwag naman ganun. Dapat meron kayong report talaga na walang ganun. Di ba?
Yeah,
He
Mr.
is
Chair.
a member of the House of Representatives. The insinuation that he forcibly took some data is not only be reflective on the image of the House of Representatives.
Yeah, Mr. Chair, yun lang po yung nireport po sa amin. So we were just relaying po. That time po, I wasn't still with the DPWH, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, with your indulgence, we just received reports na naglabas na po ng arrest warrant sa Sandigan Bayan laban kina Engineer Bryce Hernandez and Engineer JP Mendoza. Now, Mr. Chair, I just want to put on record that once the arrest warrant is served to these individuals, what are we going to do? The Blue Ribbon Committee shall transfer their custody to Sandigan Bayan, or shall we wait for the hard copy of these warrants of arrest?
We need to wait for the official copy of the warrant of arrest. So I'm sure Sandigan Bayan will communicate with us. And when that time comes, then we will turn them over to the custody, legal custody of the Sandigan Bayan.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes,
Mr. Chair, if I can just make a few quick points. First, I thank everyone for their questions on my involvement with the files. I would hope that we can also discuss the contents of it. But regarding my involvement, I would be glad to face any of those questions when they are brought to me. What is personally important to me is that the contents of the files can hopefully be made public. And considering that the DPWH is here, maybe there could be some kind of commitment on them authenticating and releasing it. And I would also like to note that to add to the authentication of it, I can also provide the committee, Mr. Chair, the list of the encoders, because there is entered by on each. There's around 30 names here. And lastly po, there is a
Paki-mark na lang.
column on
Secretariat.
handwritten notes and several names that have provided handwritten notes to Yusek Cabral on the projects, which might also be related to the documents in the supposed 6 boxes that were made available in the DPWH. And former Secretary Bonoan is also mentioned in many of these handwritten notes from Yusek Cabral, and because we have the privilege of having him here, it would be great to learn how that was done. And lastly, because of the Senate President's question a while ago on how many of these projects ended up actually having SAROS, I would
Would you like the chairman to ask the question that you just mentioned?
Oh,
Kung paano ginawa?
Yes, Mr. Chair. If I could just make this last point on response to the Senate President's question. I also have here a list of the projects from the files that we checked against the GAA and the DPWH Transparency Portal, and close to 99% of them ended up in the GAA, and maybe over 95% of them have a contractor already awarded to them. And I could also provide this list po to the committee.
Kanina, na-mention ni Senate President, yung allocables, tama yun, listahan lang yan eh. Wala namang assurance yan na papasok sa GAA. Tama ba, Secretary Bonan, di ba? These are, based on the formulation prepared by Yusek Cabral. May formula siya dyan eh. Kung ilan yung pupunta sa ganitong region or kung kaninong tao or kaninong grupo, di ba? But ako naman, ang take ko, well, it's just a mere listahan. Pero ang motive for getting involved in allocables is to get kickbacks or commissions. Once naandun na sa GAA at ready na for implementation, ang tawag ko doon, attempted robbery. Or at least, very least, planned robbery. Kasi nasa isip mo na, kaya ka kukuha ng 1 billion halimbawang allocable kasi nagkukwenta ka na kung magkano yung commission mo. Pero without that, no, there's nothing wrong. With the list, per se. Depende sa motive. Di ba, Undersecretary Bernabe? Are you the son of the former justice? Oh, you should know. At saka, di ba, pwedeng i-analogous yan sa planned robbery, di ba? Nagpaplano ka na, dahil nagkukwenta ka na, oops, meron akong allocable na 1 billion. I'll pursue this to its logical conclusion, which is the GAA. Pag nandyan yung GAA, naka-allocate na sa'yo, nagkukwenta ka na ng 10%, 15%, 20%. Yun ang masama. Pero kung allocable mo is to address the needs of your constituents, especially mga district representatives, I cannot see anything wrong with that. Even senators. Kasi may mga constituencies din ng mga senators in their respective areas of residence, for example. So, yun lang ang take ko. I do not agree and I do not also disagree with the Senate President along this line.
Well, the best thing at this point, Mr. Chairman, is that the Ombudsman has the computer and the contents of what really is inside that, no? And it can be compared to the list that Congressman De Vista had, Senator Lacson had, and what is in the portals of these departments. In other words, the executive department has a copy. It will be a welcome for the committee to have the files by Congressman De Vista submitted to the Blue Ribbon Committee, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Senator
Mr. Chair.
Marcoleta.
So, Yusek Bernabe, palagay ko mahihirapan kayo na sabihin na hindi tama yung files eh. Alam mo ako, nakakuha rin ako from other sources. Pareho rin eh. Kaya nung yung ating chairman nagsalita, nagkaroon siya ng press con. Sabi niya, at least there are 5 secretaries, cabinet secretaries, and USEC have been recipient of allocables, sabi niya, as shown by the Cabral files. Tiningnan ko talaga. Tama siya eh. So, hindi naman kayo nag-react eh. Di ba?
Mr. Chair, with regard to the Cabral files po, no, dahil nga po ito yung galing sa computer, and ito po ay, kumbaga, we do not know the context, or we have no personal knowledge on how that file was created, authored, etc., Mr. Chair. Remember, Mr. Chair, the Secretary assumed this post September 1. And in September 4 po nangyari itong incident. He had impossible for him to know kung ano man ang laman ng computer na yun. That is why when it was reported that files were secured from the computer, the prudent thing to do was to secure the computer.